So first page, my name is Suhaib Ahmad, general surgeon working in Wales and also in Switzerland in Bern. The title of my talk is the most influential COVID-19 article. It's a systematic review. It was published in the New Microbes and New Infection in February of 2023. The aim was to extract the 100 most cited articles in COVID and analyze them further. So we conducted the search using the Web of Science and the iSearch. The Web of Science is a well-established database for bibliometric studies. It was established by a guy called Garfield back in the 40s. And we used principal component analysis and multiple factor analysis to analyze this study. We used various words. Each study was labeled a level of evidence according to the Center for Evidence-Based Medicine in Oxford. So level 1, broadly speaking, was systematic review and meta-analysis. Level 2 was randomized controlled trials. Level 3 was cohort studies. And level 4 was case series, case control. And level 5 was expert opinion. We used a various number of statistical tests, including Shapiro-Wilk test, Kendall rank. And we set the significance value at less than 0.05. You can see here most of the 100 most cited articles in the field of COVID originated from China, followed by the USA and the UK. Well, as we know, the COVID itself originated, or the first described case came from Wuhan, the capital of Hubei in China, which might explain why many publications were published from China. And you can also see that most of the articles were diagnostic, transmission, and therapy-related articles. So they were basic science articles. Remember, simply, basic science requires a lot of funding. If you look at these three countries, China, USA, and UK, they have one thing in common. They all spend a lot of money on research. You've got China, which spends 2.4% of its GDP, which is equivalent to 400. So this means they spend 425 billion pounds a year on research. This is according to figures of last year. USA spends 3.5% of the GDP, means they spend 800 billion pounds on research. The UK spends 1.7 billion pounds, which is equivalent to 54 billion pounds on research. We found out that most of the articles were low-level evidence, level 4 and level 5, which is equivalent to expert opinion or case series. And you'd expect the 100 most cited articles to have high quality, randomized controlled trial, because it's associated with a lower type 2 bias, which is incorrect acceptance of the null hypotheses. However, we found out that actually many articles are level 4 and 5. Why? Because it's a breakthrough discovery. There was no enough time to perform controlled trials. I'm going to tell you something about that actually. We did similar studies in different fields, in bariatric surgery, in orthopedics, and we found out that citation number is associated with high evidence when it comes to studies. This is normally. However, when it comes to breakthrough discoveries, you can have many level 4 evidence articles, case series, expert opinions being cited a lot because they just found out about the topic. There is not much data about the topic to do controlled trials or even systematic reviews. Okay. Going down, you can see that the average number of citations was 2,434. It's quite a lot for an article to be cited that much, only within 2-year period. You can see that there is a significance. It's very significant that the number of citations increase with age. The older the article is, the more it will get cited. Going down, you can see here the top new journals in which the articles were published were the New England Journal of Medicine, the Lancet, and the JAMA. Impact factor of up to 91, which is significantly high. Now, I need to say something which is very important, which is you'd expect if you publish your article in a high impact factor journal for it to be cited highly. However, what is impact factor? Impact factor, number of citations over 2 years divided by the number of articles in that journal. And science has proven that the impact factor is contributed only by 10% of the published articles. And the remaining 90%, they barely get cited. So even if you publish your article in the New England Journal of Medicine, does not mean that it's going to be cited highly. It doesn't. So you can see, look at the PCA, look at this chart. You can see that citation and the citation density, there is a relationship between the two. So the more citation density is the number of citation per year, which is the citation rate. You can see the more your article gets cited, the more people know about it, the more it will get cited every year. And the same as level of evidence, and you can see is associated with the impact factor of the journal. So high impact factor journals tend to accept high level of evidence articles. However, it doesn't mean that it will be cited highly. It's very important to note that. There was a strong relationship between the citation number and the citation density. We explained that. There is a weak correlation between the number of citation and the level of evidence. It's not significant, but there is a positive correlation. But remember that so this is what you need to know. In breakthrough discoveries, citation is not an indicator of the quality. In normal science, normally in the normal life situation, you can use a citation number as an indicator of quality, but it should not be used alone, and it should be used in addition to other means, other quality or indicator means. So now we looked at the relationship between the level of evidence and the impact factor. We looked at the association between the citation and the citation densities. We looked at the countries where most of the COVID articles were published. And that's it, actually. That concludes my study. And it's a basic chart, whether you can actually say that, does it mean that when you have a highly cited paper that it's a high impact paper? It's not always the case, but it's the case in most of the research out there that where there is no breakthrough discoveries. Okay, thank you very much for that.